Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is a video on experimental design and methods of purification and analysis. In this we'll be doing P1 questions, yani ke MCQs. There we are going to do 59 MCQs in this video. So all of them are from the past papers. So let's get started. Firstly, question number 1. Aqueous hydrogen peroxide undergoes catalytic decomposition as shown in the equation below. 2H2O2 aqueous is 2H2O liquid plus O2 gas. The diagram shows part of the apparatus used to measure the rate of decomposition. Which piece of apparatus is connected at position X? What do you think? Is it a burette? Do it look like a burette? Remember in part 1 video I've shown you the apparatuses. Remember? Is it a burette? What do you think? Burette, gas syringe? I think it's a gas syringe. What do you think? Measuring cylinder? Is it a measuring cylinder? You have to see it very carefully. It's position X. Or a pipette. Is it a burette, pipette, measuring cylinder, gas syringe? What do you think? Moving on. The diagram shows the chromatogram of 4 different sugars using the same solvent. Glucose has an RF value of 0.5. Which sugar is glucose? 0.5. So, what do you think? Moving on. The diagram shows apparatus used to separate hexane, boiling point 70 degrees Celsius, and heptane, boiling point 90 degrees Celsius. Which graph would be obtained if the temperature at point T was plotted against the total volume of distillate collected? What do you think? Will it go straight exactly? Or will it start from 100? Or will it start from 90 or will it start from 70? What do you think? Because we know it cannot be C or D. Is it A or B? What do you think? Moving on. Question number 4. A liquid boils at a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. Which other property of the liquid proves that it is a pure water? It does not leave a residue when boiled. It freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. It is neither acidic nor alkaline. It turns white and hydrous copper sulfate blue. What do you think? Moving on. Question number 5. A mixture of two substances is spotted onto a piece of chromatography paper. The paper was inserted into a beaker containing a liquid. For separation of the substances to occur, the mixture must. Question कुछ समझ नहीं आया. Let's just read it again. A mixture of two substances is spotted onto a piece of chromatography paper. The paper was inserted into a beaker containing a liquid. For separation of the substances to occur, the mixture must be placed so that the spot is just below the level of the liquid, must be soluble in the liquid, must contain substances of the same RF values, must contain substances that are colored. मुझे तो आंसर मिल गया. What do you think? Question number 6. Which of the following is the best method of obtaining pure water from ink? Chromatography, distillation, filtration, or freezing? Which of the following is a pure compound? Ethanol, petrol, steel, tap water. Substance X melts at 53 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. It does not dissolve in water and it does not react with water. Which diagram shows the method most suitable for separating X from the mixture of X and water? A, B, C, D. What do you think? Filtration or distillation or fractionating distillation. What do you think? Moving on. Question number 9. A sample of pure compound is heated until it is completely molten, and the compound is then allowed to cool until it is completely solid again. The graph shows how the temperature of the compound changes with time. When are liquid and solid both present? What do you think? P2Q and R2S? P2Q, Q2R, R2S. In which state, read the question again. In which is the compound allowed to cool and is completely solid again? Molten till solid. Which test could be used to show that the sample of water is pure? It freezes at exactly 0 degrees Celsius. It turns anhydrous copper sulfate blue. It turns cobalt chloride paper pink. When it evaporates, it leaves no residue. Question number 11. At which temperature does a concentrated aqueous solution of sodium chloride begin to boil? Question number 12. A test tube containing a liquid X is placed in a beaker of boiling water. The liquid X water to boil immediately. What is the boiling point of liquid X? 100 degrees Celsius, above 100 degree, between 0 and room temperature, between room temperature and 100 degree. Okay. Which pair of substances are both mixtures? Air and water, lime water and water, air water, lime water and water, sea water and air, sea water and ethanol. What do you guys think? Question number 14. A mixture of two substances is spotted onto a piece of chromatography paper. The paper is inserted into a beaker containing a liquid. For separation of the substances to occur, the mixture must be placed so that the spot is just below the level of the liquid, be soluble in the liquid, contain substances of the same RF values, contain substances that are colored. Okay, now this is a P2 question which you need to do by yourself, and we'll see the answers. Okay, this is a P2 question. In this video I'll just showing you the P1 question, which are the MCQs. Okay, which method could be used to obtain charcoal from the mixture of powdered charcoal with sodium chloride? Chromatography, filtration after shaking with water, heating the mixture, or distillation? Question number 17. Experimental design and methods of purification analysis का question है. Which property shows that the liquid is pure? It turns anhydrous copper sulfate blue. It is colorless and odorless. It has no effect on red or blue litmus paper. It boils at a fixed temperature at a given pressure. What do you think? Okay. Question number 18. The table shows the boiling points of the elements found in a sample of liquid air. Okay, so argon is minus 186, helium minus 269, neon minus 246, nitrogen minus 196, and oxygen minus 183. Which elements would be gaseous yet at minus 190 degrees Celsius? What do you think? Any three you have to tell. Which equation describes the most suitable reaction for making lead sulfate? You have to make lead sulfate. The table given gives the properties of four substances. Which substance is a solid metal at room temperature? Melting point is 808, boiling point 1465, and with melting and boiling points, electrical conductivity when solid and when molten is also given. So you can see. What do you think? The diagram shows the chromatogram obtained by analysis of a single dye. Three measurements are shown. How is the RF value of the dye calculated? I have told you. So, what do you think is the answer? Oxygen was prepared from hydrogen peroxide and collected as shown in the diagram. The first few tubes of gas were rejected because the gas was contaminated by water vapor, hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen, or nitrogen. The diagram shows a chromatogram of several inks. Which statement is correct? Black ink can be made by mixing green, red, and yellow inks. Brown ink can be made by mixing blue and red inks. Yellow ink can be used to make brown ink. Yellow ink may be present in green ink. So, yes. Which reagent could be used to distinguish between dilute nitric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid? Aqueous barium chloride, aqueous silver nitrate, aqueous sodium hydroxide, and copper carbonate. The diagram shows copper oxide being reduced by hydrogen to copper. After reduction is complete, the burner is turned off, but the flow of hydrogen is continued until the tube is cool. Why is the hydrogen allowed to flow through the tube during cooling? To allow the tube to cool slowly, to lessen the risk of explosion in the hot tube, to prevent the copper from reacting with the air, to remove any traces of water left in the tube. The oxidation of ethanol to ethanoic acid is often carried out in the apparatus shown. What is the purpose of the condenser? To prevent air reacting with the ethanoic acid, to prevent any ethanol from escaping, to prevent the ethanoic acid changing back to ethanol, to prevent the ethanoic acid reacting with the ethanol. The fractional distillation apparatus shown is used for separating a mixture of two colorless liquids. A thermometer is missing from the apparatus. Where should the bulb of the thermometer is placed? A, B, C, D. What do you think? I think it's the same question. It's repeated, right? Yes, it's the same. A mixture containing equal volumes of two liquids that mix completely but do not react together is placed in the apparatus shown and heated until the thermometer first shows a steady ready. At which position will there be the highest proportion of the liquid with the higher boiling point? A, B, C, D. Question number 30. A mixture containing equal volumes of two liquids that mix completely but do not react together is placed in the apparatus shown and heated until the thermometer first shows a steady ready. At which position will there be the highest proportion of the liquid with the highest boiling point? Same question is repeated. Okay. Oxygen was prepared from hydrogen peroxide with manganese oxide as catalyst. The oxygen was collected as shown in the diagram. The first few tubes of gas were rejected because the gas were contaminated. ये question B repeat हुआ है. Hydrogen peroxide, nitrogen, water vapor. What do you think? In a titration between an acid in the burette and an alkali, you may need to reuse the same titration flask. Which is the best procedure to rinsing the flask? Rinse with distilled water and then with the alkali. Rinse with tap water and then with distilled water. Rinse with tap water and then with the acid. Rinse it with the alkali. Question number 33. Copper sulfate crystals are separated from sand using the four processes listed below. In which order are these processes used? Filtering, dissolving, crystallizing, evaporating. Dissolving, filtering, evaporating, crystallizing. What do you think? In the titration between an acid in the burette and an alkali, you may need to reuse the same titration flask. Which is the best procedure to rinsing the flask? We have done this. Again, the question is repeated. Okay. Question number 37. It is suspected that a lollipop contained traces of a poisonous green dye, boiling point 73 degrees Celsius, as well as two harmless orange and red dyes, boiling point 69 degrees Celsius and 73 degrees Celsius respectively. What is the best method by which the green dye may be detected. Filtration, fractional distillation, paper chromatography, recrystallization. Remember, colors are given. Okay. Question number 38. Hydrogen chloride is very soluble in water, whereas chlorine is only slightly soluble in water. Both gases can be dried using concentrated sulfuric acid. Which diagram represents the correct method of obtaining pure dry chlorine from damp chlorine containing a small amount of hydrogen chloride? You can see the difference. What's the difference given over here? Which of the following is not a mixture? Ethanol, petrol, steel, tap water. Hydrogen, okay, we have done this. Is not a mixture. Okay. A mixture of two substances is spotted onto a piece of, we have also done this, a piece of chromatography paper, and the paper is inserted into a beaker containing a liquid. For separation of the substances to occur, the spot of mixture must be placed so that the spot is just below the level of the liquid. It's be soluble in the liquid. And these questions, the ones which are repeated, it means that they come in the paper again and again. Okay, so these are the important questions over here. We have 59 questions over here. Which reagent could be used to distinguish between dilute nitric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid? What do you think? Moving on, we have also done, no, we have not done this. The apparatus shown in the is used to distill the dilute of ethanol in water. Which graph shows the change in concentration of the ethanol in the boiling flask as the distillation proceeds? Okay, so question repeated. Which process involves boiling a liquid and condensing the vapor? Crystallization, distillation, evaporation, or filtration? In which method of separation are RF values used? Chromatography, crystallization, filtration, or fractional distillation? Which process is suitable for obtaining the water from an aqueous solution of sugar? Crystallization, distillation, filtration, use of a separating funnel. Solutions of lead, nitrate, and potassium iodine are mixed together in the preparation of lead 3 iodine, lead 2 iodine. Which method can be used to separate the lead 2 iodide from the mixture? Crystallization, distillation, evaporation, filtration. The fraction, okay, ये temperature वाला question है कि जो आपका thermometer है वो कहाँ पे होता है? A, B, C और D. Okay. All these questions almost done. Yes. Question number 54. Benzene and cyclohexane are both flammable liquids. They are able to mix with each other without separating into two layers. They have very similar boiling points. It is difficult to separate a mixture of these two liquids by fractional distillation. Why is it difficult to separate a mixture of benzene and cyclohexane by fractional distillation? They are both flammable, they are both liquids, they have very similar boiling points, they mix with each other completely. The graph gives the melting point of mixtures of lead and tin. The graph shows the mixture of lead and tin must have the melting point that is above that of tin, below that of lead, below that of both, between that of both. Here the question is really repeated again, and the second last question. A chemist wishes to separate and identify a mixture of substances using paper chromatography. The diagram shows the apparatus used. The solvent is water. The solvent front is allowed to read the top of the paper before the chemist removes the paper from the solvent. Which problem does this cause? This causes the spot nearest the bottom of the paper to catch up with the spot above it. This makes it impossible to calculate RF value. This makes it impossible to use the locating agent. This results in a safety hazard caused by solvent fumes. Now, question number last. 4 samples are spotted onto chromatography paper. It is known that one of these samples is pure compound Q. A separate sample of pure compound Q is also spotted onto the paper. The paper is placed in a solvent. The diagram shows the chromatogram produced. Which statement is correct? You can read these and do these. Okay, and we have another question. A paper chromatography experiment is carried out to separate and identify the mixture of amino acids produced from the hydrolysis of a protein. Which apparatus is needed? Okay, it's a very easy question. So these were the 59 questions which we did. All of these were related to experimental design and methods of purification and analysis. Inshallah, we'll be starting the next chapter. If you like the video, so do like the video. If you find this interesting and if you find this easy, so do like the video, and if it was helpful, so do like the video and do mention it in the comment box, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.